Good evening. Thanks for tuning in for another VarAC Wednesday video. I'm Jason, Kilo 3 Juliet, Sierra Juliet. On behalf of myself and Mark, I'd like to present our Week 25 recap. For those of you who may not know what VarAC Wednesday is, we're a global community of operators passionate about using the VarAC application to connect with one another. We meet every Wednesday, sending emails through a gateway station on HF, UHF, or VHF, and we take those emails, tabulate them, put them on a map. Not only that, we offer other events throughout the year to connect. And recently, Mark and I announced a game that we're releasing with use with VarAC. This is a global game that you can connect with other operators. And our goal is to encourage building community and connecting with humans using radio. So with the game, Superstation is the name. You can build your virtual ham radio superstation by rolling the dice in the game. And when you do that, you can unlock upgrades to various pieces of your station. And you can also make QSOs to get points for making contacts with other operators. The minimum time requirement for a QSO is 10 minutes. And then there's also a multiplier by the distance. So the farther your QSO is, and this is a maximum score across all your QSOs, you'll get a multiplier for that. So it's a great way to augment your VarAC experience, encourages you to connect with other operators. And then I'll talk briefly about where the application is in terms of beta release after our recap. So why not consider joining us every Wednesday on VarAC Wednesday? You can look up the information on how to do that at our website by scanning the QR code or going to the URL. Why not also follow on social media on the Facebook group and consider joining Telegram to see recent announcements. And with that, let's go ahead and do our Week 25 recap. This past week, we had 219 operators check in on Wednesday, and that's 6 less than we had the previous week. 21 first-time operators joined us, and 81 email gateways were used. So that's 15 less than previously. Not sure why that is. Maybe propagation has been an issue the last week. We support checking in using GPS coordinates, and last week we had 109 operators check in with GPS. That's up 7 from the previous week. And we've passed a milestone that 50% of the operators have now checked in the past week using GPS coordinates, and that's up 5% week over week. I alluded to we have other events beside the weekly check-in. One of the things that we offer through VarAC Wednesday is awards. We have the Pioneer Award, and this is given to any operator who has at least 20 weeks of checking in during the 2025, which is our inaugural year. And Mark and I are pleased to announce November 1 Radio Delta November, Dennis Driscoll. Zulu Sierra 3 Tango Golf, Gerhard D.G. Coates. And there's 10 weeks left in the year, so please check out our website to see where you're at in the standings to determine how many more weeks you have, and keep the check-ins coming. And let's go ahead and welcome our newly appointed folks who checked in for the first time this past week. All right, thanks for everyone who's checked in this past week. And I'd like to go ahead and take a little bit of time to give you an update on the Superstation beta testing. Mark and I launched this recently with a set of users who were given the application, version 7.1.2, and they used it on their station and contacted us with their feedback. We did find a couple bugs in the software, and I've gone ahead and updated that and patched it, so we have all these items fixed. The first one is preventing multiple applications running, so only running one instance of the application. We had a simulation mode where we limited to 30 roles, which that's about the number of roles that you need to max out your Superstation. So I had some code that was left in there for the I guess the debug mode of that, which was stopping it was causing an issue when the operator reached 30 roles. So I went ahead and fixed that bug. The maximum distance was not updating properly, and that's been fixed. And then finally, I released something called the QSO browser, which lets you go look through your history of QSOs over a certain number of duration. So that had an issue where if the configuration file for the program Superstation wasn't there, it would crash the application. So that has been fixed as well. We do have a new version that Mark is doing the final evaluation of, and we're going to be releasing this to the beta testing team soon. It's version 7.1.3. And I rolled out a new feature that will auto-detect the VarAC settings. So if you have a running VarAC instance, it will detect your call sign, grid square, and the database name, and pre-populate that information to configure Superstation. I've made some updates to the QSO alert, which will reflect the distance of your last QSO and whether or not that is greater than the maximum distance of all the previous QSOs that you have. And the reason for that is over the period of time when you're operating the Superstation, you have a multiplier for your score based on the distance in kilometers. So we keep track of that, and that's in the alert. And then finally, I've added some code to allow the operator to select the start and end date of the Superstation. So we have some things that we're rolling out here in the near future, and we needed this feature to be present in the software. So once Mark finishes the final look through of this, we will be releasing it to the beta testing team. And then in terms of the way ahead for Superstation, we have a couple enhancements in the works. The first is we will be asking operators to confirm a human-to-human QSO when the QSO pops up. A number of folks do run unattended at times to provide an email gateway. So we want to make sure we're not improperly counting those as human-to-human, because the goal of Superstation is to encourage human-to-human contact. We also will have a feature that will let you output the log of your QSOs. So we will be rolling that out in the near future. And then finally, the public beta release of the software will be coming up in November. So we're wrapping up the beta testing here soon. And then if we have any additional issues that we need to resolve, I will get those coded and updated, and then we will do the beta release. And then please follow us on our website, as well as the Facebook group and Telegram. We will be having a special announcement in November for something we have coming up in the near future. So we think everyone's going to like that, so just please continue to follow us, as well as this YouTube channel. For week 26 ahead, tomorrow is VarAC Wednesday. In some parts of the world, it's already Wednesday. So please do not forget to check in. We'd love to have you join the net. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out this YouTube channel for the weekly recap videos, as well as background on the gameplay of Superstation, as well as any new announcements we have of the game. And the URL is that on the page there. And finally, please encourage you to join the Facebook and Telegram groups. That's where Mark and I communicate information about VarAC Wednesday and Superstation. And it's a great place to go to connect with other operators to provide them support, as well as get answers to some of your questions you may have. So thanks for tuning in to this edition of our weekly recap. This has been Jason, Kilo 3 Juliet, Sierra Juliet. On behalf of myself and Mark, we look forward to checking in and connecting you in the near future. 73.